Joe Biden gave a fiery speech in Philly as his campaign turns into full swing, and we're going to look at a multitude of different moments, not just to highlight his successes and the things he was saying, but as we also cover Trump speeches a lot, I want you to see the stark differences between the two, the way they present themselves, the topics they like to cover, and the lack of Trump-level gaffes or mental lapses that we see from Biden.
Trump and his MAGA extremists want to give power back to Big Pharma to continue to charge exorbitant fees. Trump is still determined, in his own words, quote, to terminate the Affordable Care Act, which would deny 3 million Black Americans health insurance, deny protections for pre-existing conditions for millions more. During his presidency, Trump enacted a $2 trillion tax cut, overwhelmingly benefiting the very wealthy and the biggest corporations, and exploded the federal deficit. He racked up more federal debt than any president did in any presidential term in history. Tell me about the Republicans and balancing budgets. And now he wants to do it again. At the same time, he's determined to cut Social Security and Medicare. I have a better idea. Let's protect Social Security and Medicare and make the very wealthy begin to pay for it.
First off, can we talk about the diversity behind Biden and the crowd? You literally never see this with Trump. It's always a bunch of milquetoast white dudes and hillbillies. But as to the substance of what he was saying, Biden is also exactly right. A lot of conservatives don't even realize this because they don't understand what their taxes actually go towards. But Trump delayed the payroll tax during COVID and then in 2020 ran on permanently slashing it. And he's again running on that in 2024, while the payroll tax is not only the second largest funder of social programs and federal funding, of which it goes towards, you guessed it, Social Security and Medicare. So Trump wants to cut this along with other taxes that would help corporations and billionaires while taking things from the middle class that they actually rely on.
Stakes in this election couldn't be higher. What's at stake is nothing less than the fundamental ideal of America defines America, that we're all created equal, endowed by our Creator with certain inalienable rights, and should be treated that way throughout our lives. We've never lived up to it, but we've never ever before completely walked away from it either. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let Donald Trump be the reason to stop being American. I'll be damned if I'm going to let Donald Trump I'm not going to let Donald Trump turn America into a place that doesn't believe in honesty, decency, and treating people with respect. And I'll be damned if I'm going to let Donald Trump turn America into a place filled with anger and resentment and hate.
Donald Trump is almost single-handedly responsible for turning politics into this sort of dirty game of tribalism where people don't care about their best interests. It's about their team winning, where sure, I mean, before Trump, there were rough campaigns, but just look at the nominees for the Republican candidacy before Trump. Mitt Romney was the utmost respectful to Obama, even in defeat. John McCain as well. He literally defended him in a clip that was circulating everywhere from a woman saying that Obama's not American, and then Trump literally ran on spreading that lie, calling Michelle a woman, labeling immigrants as criminals and thugs, attacking Hillary at every chance he can, and just acting with no respect or dignity, mocking the disabled, grab her by the pee. It's hardly behavior that you should want representing your country, which represents you. He also normalized a distrust in institutions, which by the way is a core part of fascism. I don't know. And any that disagree with him, that is, all courts that are against him are fraudulent, but those that agree with him are fine. All media stations that speak out against him are fake news, but any that agree with him are fine. Even Fox News that lost the largest defamation lawsuit in American history, but not fake news, right? And this is something you also see trickle down heavily to his supporters, where you present them with facts, and instead of trying to counter the facts, provide facts of their own, their only response is to attack your source, which is just counterfactual nonsense, but it's how MAGA operates at this point.
It's the same guy who wanted to tear gas you as you peacefully protested George Floyd's murder. The same guy who still calls the Central Park Five guilty, even though they were exonerated. He's that landlord who denies housing applications because of the color of your skin. He's that guy who won't say Black Lives Matter and invokes neo-Nazi Third Reich terms. We all remember Trump is the same guy who unleashed birthism, the birthism lie against Barack. And then Trump tells you he's the greatest president. I love this one. He says he's the greatest president for black people in the history of America, including more than Abraham Lincoln.
Most of what he's saying here we've already covered extensively. Trump was successfully sued for discriminating on housing based on race. Then this was backed by multiple people who worked for him. He refuses to walk back the Central Park 5 comments he made and called for their death after they were proven to be innocent, by the way. Notice also how Trump never talks about pardoning Black Lives Matters protesters. He was fine with them being tear gassed. However, he wouldn't even call in the troops for the January 6th rioters, and now promises on a salute to some anthem for them that he will pardon every single one of the January 6th rioters in every speech he makes, but he wouldn't even dare say Black Lives Matter. It's kind of weird when you consider the fact that over 90% of the arrest numbers on January 6th were white. Trump will invoke language and phrases used by Hitler. Hell, he'll say that there's both good people on both sides. When white supremacists are marching, he told the Proud Boys to stand back and stand by. At every turn, he will stand with those kinds of groups, but any chance he has to stand with oppressed groups, he chooses not to, while Biden, without hesitation, has stood with them at every turn, every step of the way.
Because you voted, I was able to keep my commitment to appoint the first black woman on the United States Supreme Court. Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. A promise made and a promise kept, and I appointed more black women to the federal circuit courts than every other president in American history combined. Every single president combined. And overall, we appointed 200 black judges to the federal bench.
I mean, the proof is in the pudding. From Biden, we have the first black woman Supreme Court justice, the first black woman vice president, over 200 black judges appointed by him, more black woman judges than any president ever. Biden also has the most diverse cabinet of all time. While when Trump was in office, he appointed 73% white men, 9% white women, and only 18% non-white members, while also those members having less government experience in his picks than Biden's picks. Before some MAGA wants to run to my comments and scream DEI, I actually agree. The only reason Trump's cabinet was filled with unexperienced white guys is because the white boss DEI hired them. Or does that only apply to the black people that you're jealous of being empowered? Let me know in the comments, Snowflake. If you enjoyed this video, we're Social Society. We're a commentary channel influenced by politics, society, and the economy. We are pretty left-leaning on this channel, but we're open to our right-wingers as well. The biggest thing here is having conversations that get everyone to the bottom of the truth. If that sounds like something that could interest you, consider smashing that subscribe button, leaving us a like, or even commenting on this video. We even have memberships available as low as $3 if you'd like to support, because the only way we become a society is together.